Hello. So let's talk about what is the secret of happiness. And the answer is humility. When you're humble, you are free. And when you're not humble, you've got pride, you make your life so difficult. In fact, you are your worst enemy, and pride is the reason. So the more you lose pride, it's very hard to get rid of it completely, but the more you lose it, the more relaxed you'll feel. And things like worry and stress will leave you. When you're humble, you're open to new ideas, and in fact you become more aware of what's happening around you and the things that truly make you happy. And in fact also the reality of the world becomes far more open to you. When you're proud, you become more narrow-minded. Okay, and the reason why the reality of the world is very important is because, in fact, most people forget that they are actually spiritual creatures, and you only really realize that when you become humble and become more aware of what's happening inside you. While you're proud, or have pride, you feel the need to ignore your own feelings, because you'll be so involved in creating an impression about yourself that you ignore your own feelings so that you can keep up that impression. So that is a brief introduction to the secret of happiness. So humility is just the key. There are many, many things that make you happy, but once you are humble, you open up the doors, and all the things that make your life better, like your understanding of spirituality, your relationship with God, once you start realizing what kind of spiritual creature you are, your health, even your sex life, every single element of your life is important to your happiness, but it depends on how you use each of the things that are happening in your life. For example, when it comes to sex life, if you're screwing around, it does not make you happy, but there is an illusion that it does. So I want to talk about all these tiny things separately, but that's for another video. But I want to get this idea across that humility just opens up so many doors. Also things like you start answering age-old questions that you've had in your heart for ages and ages, like so for example, how do you know God exists? It requires humility to know the answer, because if you don't have humility, you're constantly fighting the truth. So I don't really want to explain everything, but I want you to have enough of a feeling that, yeah, that seems to make sense. Now, maybe one more thing I want to work on without going outside this idea of humility is that you're a spiritual creature. So once you're humble, you realize the things that give you peace are spiritual things. And the things that don't give you peace are non-spiritual things, like trying to be important, trying to make money for the sake of that giving you happiness, when that does not really give you happiness. Spiritual things give you happiness. God gives you happiness. God is the ultimate spiritual creature, and we are actually spiritual creatures, etc., etc. And there are proofs of this, but in fact, when you are humble, you automatically see the proofs of everything I'm saying very easily. Your mind is so much more opened. You don't suffer from worrying, and I kind of exhausted it. Not really exhausted it, but let's save the rest for another video.